Good evening. In 4 days' time, the entire country will be coming together to celebrate the Pran Pratishta of Bhagwan Sri Ram in Ayodhya. Now, for Ram Bhaks, as indeed for a majority of Hindus in this country, that moment on Monday, the Pran Pratishta, it goes beyond politics. It is a return of Ram to the place of his birth after a 500-year wait. Yes, the more recent history of Ram Janmabhoomi has been very disputed, and in some episodes it's even been violent, something that's been underlined even by the Supreme Court judgment in 2019, which paved the way for the construction of the Ram Temple in Ayodhya. But doesn't an occasion such as this, the Pran Pratishta, as people in Ayodhya are saying, Lord Ram is coming back to his abode after 500 years, doesn't this offer a chance to bury these old wounds, to forgive and forget, and to move forward? And in that, has the opposition missed a trick? Has the opposition missed an opportunity by boycotting the Pran Pratishta? We'll get to that in 1 second with our debate panelists tonight. But first, the story 3 days ahead of that massive event that is due to come on Monday.
भगवान श्री राम, माता सीता और रामायण की बातें समय, समाज, जाति, धर्म और क्षेत्र की सीमाओं से परे हर एक व्यक्ति से जुड़ी है।
भगवान राम कृष्ण ये तो हजारों वर्ष थे क्या दुर्गति थी हम लोगों की, और हम लोगों का कलयुग शुरू होगा 22 के बाद।
आज मेरा दिल टूट गया है और इस फैसले से करोड़ों कांग्रेस के कार्यकर्ताओं का दिल टूटा है।
उस समय जो है बाबरी मस्जिद के ताले खुलवाकर और पूजा अर्चना रामलला की मूर्ति स्थापन करने का काम स्वर्गीय राजीव जी के समय हुआ।
அங்கே கோயில் வர்றது எங்களுக்கு பிரச்சனை கிடையாது, ஆனால் அங்கே இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த மசூதியை இடிச்சிட்டு அங்கே கோயில் கட்டினது தான் எங்களுடைய எங்களுக்கு அந்த உடன்பாடு கிடையாது।
ये देखिए, संविधान को मानते नहीं, लोकतंत्र को मानते नहीं, सभी संस्थाओं पर कब्जा करते, ईडी सीबीआई डरा के धमका के सबको खत्म करना चाहते हैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी।
So on the one hand, there's a boycott of the Pran Pratishta. On the other, various opposition parties are doing their own thing on the 22nd, infusing religion, of course, with politics. So is it confused Mandir messaging? Number one, the Congress top brass, of course, has decided that they will be boycotting the Pran Pratishta. But on that same day, Congress state units will be holding pujas across the nation on the 22nd of January. In fact, Rahul Gandhi in his press conference in Nagaland a few days ago had said that the Pran Pratishta is a political event. It's a Narendra Modi event. But Dipinder Hooda of the party, who was there on the 15th on Makar Sankranti day, did puja, took a dip in the holy Sarayu. He says that the Ram Mandir is actually the legacy of Rajiv Gandhi. You heard his soundbite a moment ago where he said the locks were opened when Rajiv was Prime Minister. The Shilanyas was done when Rajiv Gandhi was Prime Minister. Digvijay Singh, Congress leader, says that the invitation was rejected by the Congress top brass as the holy seers, some of the Shankaracharyas, have said things which are discordant to the event. Some of them have decided not to attend the event as well. But Acharya Pramod Krishnam of the Congress says that the boycott will hurt tens of millions of Bhaks in the Congress party itself. And it's not just the Congress. Other opposition parties are also in this whole confused messaging. Kunal Ghosh of the TMC has said that the BJP is using Ram for booth-level politics. But on the 22nd of January, TMC Supremo Mamata Banerjee will be holding a puja at Kali Ghat Mandir, and she will also be conducting a Sarv Dharm Sabha in Kolkata. So on that same day, Sanjay Raut of the Shiv Sena, of the Uddhav Thackeray faction of the Shiv Sena, he has asked, will the Mandir solve the problems of Manipur and Kashmiri Pandits who are yet to return to their homeland? But Uddhav Thackeray has said there are no bigger Ram Bhaks than Shiv Sainiks. He will in fact be offering prayers on that same day at the Kala Ram Mandir in Nashik on the 22nd of January. In the Aam Aadmi Party, Saurabh Bharadwaj of the Aam Aadmi Party has said that the BJP is hijacking the Mandir ceremony for politics. But now, just yesterday, we had this announcement that the Aam Aadmi Party will be conducting Sundar Kand and Hanuman Chalisa programs across over 2,000 locations in Delhi. So on the one hand, you are criticizing the BJP for using religion, infusing religion into politics, which of course the opposition is well within their right to criticize. But at the same time, how different is what they are doing from what the BJP is doing? They too can be accused of the same thing, which is infusing religion in politics. Let me go across to Charu Pragya of the BJP, who's joining us, Riju Datta, spokesperson of the TMC, Pavan K Varma, author and former diplomat, and Tehseen Poonawala will also be joining us, political analyst. Charu, so the contention by the opposition, the Congress, TMC, Aam Aadmi Party, etc., and you heard what Rahul Gandhi said yesterday, that this is a Narendra Modi event. This is a political event. You're milking religion for politics. They will also do puja, but they will not milk it for politics.
Look at the irony of their statement, Zaka. On one side, Congress is the very party whose workers enter Ayodhya Shri with party flags in hand. And then they go on to abuse Ram Bhakts in Ayodhya who object to these flags. And then they blame the BJP and they say BJP is politicizing it. It's really ironic and it's unbelievable that Congress still thinks that they can say all these things and get away with it. See, the India alliance is now in a fix. They understand that they cannot be seen at Ram Janmabhoomi on the day of Pran Pratishtha. So they are finding their own ways of doing damage control. The fact is, एक तरफ आप कहते हैं राम जी सबके हैं, भगवान सबके हैं. So you are amongst the privileged, luckiest few who's had the opportunity to be there on 22nd, and what did you do? You let it go. You completely let it go. India Alliance together could have sent a very big delegation because everyone was invited. Yet they are the ones who decided to abstain. So now they cannot cry out and say that it's become a BJP-centric event. Another thing is that I made a whole list of how the politicization is being done by the opposition leaders, not the BJP. So let me begin with Congress. For the first time ever in the history of Congress, they remembered Saryu. For the first time, they decided to go for a holy dip in the Saryu. Now they want to do pujas on the 22nd, but they cannot do the same puja on Ram Janmabhoomi. That they have decided to boycott. So very, very contradictory stand. And then the same Congress today, who is saying that ये तो मोदी जी का है सब कुछ, they were the ones who are still talking about ताले हमने तुड़वाए थे, forgetting very conveniently, consequently what they did. ताले जरूर तुड़वाए होंगे. उसके बाद they were the ones who filed an affidavit saying that Ram is a mithya, that Ram is a figment of imagination. There is no historical proof of Bhagwan Shri Ram. And then most recently, they tried their best to delay the hearing. And then Shiv Sena, they call themselves the biggest
one second, Charu. Let me open this up to others also, please. Give me a moment. Let me go to Riju Datta. Riju Datta of the TMC. You know, Mamata Banerjee has announced that she will be doing puja at Kalighat temple. Then there's going to be a Sarv Dharm Sabha on that very same day. Now, if you're accusing the BJP of using religion and infusing religion in politics, the TMC can also be accused of that same thing. Kalighat Mandir mein puja, you can do it on 23rd or 25th or 30th or whenever, but you have to do it on 22nd when the Pran Pratishtha is happening. Sarv Dharm Sabha you can hold any time, but the Chief Minister chooses to hold it on that same day. Why? That's also politics. That's also infusing religion in politics.
Zaka, you have to understand, you have missed a point. Mamata Banerjee said that she'll start her Sampriti rally by holding a puja in Kalighat Mandir, and then she will visit the nearby Bhawanipur Gurdwara, one of the masjids, which is nearby Kalighat Mandir, and then she will start the rally. See, we have never used religion in our manifesto. We have never used politics in the name of Lord Ram for our dirty politics and all sorts of illegal activity. Jai Shri Ram was at one point of time a very warm greeting in this country. BJP has turned it into a lynching war cry. They invoke Prabhu Ram every election, even if it's a panchayat, they will invoke Prabhu Ram. Now, BJP is saying Narendra Modi has given, their spokesperson saying on channels, नरेंद्र मोदी ने प्रभु राम को घर दिया है. अरे नरेंद्र मोदी क्या राजा दशरथ हैं जो उनको घर बना के दे रहे हैं. It is not about Prabhu Ram Zaka, it is about Prabhu Modi. We are not going to the event of, it is not against Prabhu Ram. Prabhu Ram lives in our heart and we celebrate him on a daily basis, and we will celebrate him on a daily basis till the day's end. But the problem is We are boycotting the Pran Pratishtha ceremony. The same reason why the Shankaracharyas are not boycotting. Will BJP call Shankaracharyas anti-Hindu now?
Okay.
What they are saying कि अगर नरेंद्र मोदी प्राण प्रतिष्ठा करेंगे पूरी शंकराचार्य से तो हम क्या वहां जाके ताली
No,
बजाएंगे?
there is
You
a
have to
significant
understand.
difference. There is a significant difference, and let me ask Pavan Varma this. The Shankaracharyas don't have to contest elections. TMC and Congress and AAP and Shiv Sena have to contest elections in 3 months' time. And clearly, and you can blame the BJP for this, or you can call this, smart politics. The fact is the BJP is going to milk this in the elections. It's as simple as that. I mean, you can't fault them because the opposition chose not to go. Mr. Kharge, Mr. Chaudhary, Adhir Chaudhary, Sonia Gandhi, they were invited. Mr. Pawar was invited. He chose not to go. So then to turn around and say, oh, BJP is going to use this in the Lok Sabha election, you could have also done it.
Thank you, Zaka. Let me put my point straightforwardly. I think the opposition has displayed a remarkable degree of confusion in response to an event which they knew is going to happen. I say this because on this occasion, the Ram Mandir has been built pursuant to a Supreme Court judgment.
Yeah.
On an earlier occasion, the attempt was amaryadit, not in accordance with what Maryada Purushottam stands for, because it was illegal and condemned by the highest rungs of the BJP leadership as well. But now it has followed due procedure as a result of the Supreme Court judgment. That judgment was welcomed by almost all opposition parties, with the perhaps exception of Mr. Owaisi. But if you have welcomed the judgment and you know that as a consequence of it a temple will be built, I find that the opposition is singularly unprepared to respond to the fact that given that the BJP, for whatever reasons, Astha or politics, was from 1990 when L.K. Advani ji began his Rath Yatra, was at the forefront for the movement to build a Ram temple, will use it also, apart from Astha, for political dividends.
Yes.
Every political party in this country seeks to use, whether it admits it or not, an emotive issue which has electoral resonance. And on the eve of the 2024 parliamentary elections, the BJP has decided to build a temple whose actual Pran Pratishtha was announced months ago. How was the opposition prepared to handle it?
Yeah.
One response could have been that this is not a BJP event. This is a result of a Supreme Court judgment. And therefore, we, if we are Ram Bhakts, will pay obeisance to it. And this is not a Narendra Modi Abhishek, but actually a reinstallation of Ram Lalla. Another would be to say that on the 22nd, since it seems the BJP has appropriated this event completely for political reasons, we all together will go separately and offer our obeisance.
No, that they are saying.
What
That they are saying
today,
that we will go whenever it is open for darshan for the rest of the public. We will go at a later date. We just don't want to go there on the 22nd and give Mr. Modi this legitimacy that the opposition is also taking part in this Pran Pratishtha. But I think this goes beyond politics, and I want to ask Tehseen Poonawalla this, because I spoke to the Foreign Minister Jaishankar yesterday, and he said, the world is watching. It's not just people here in India who are watching. And if we as Indians are not proud of our heritage, and like I said at the top of the show, I'm not saying it's an undisputed heritage. Of course, the recent history of Ram Janmabhoomi has been extremely contested and even violent, and that's been noted in the Supreme Court order. But isn't this an opportunity, the Pran Pratishtha, when the entire country is coming together? It's like a national festival for the opposition to say, okay, this is an opportunity for us to bury the wounds of the last 30, 40 years and let's, forget, forgive and move forward. But the opposition is, in a sense, clinging on to the past. You heard what Dipinder Hooda said. Rajiv Gandhi ne शिलान्यास करवाया, Rajiv Gandhi ne ताले तोड़े. So either you're proud of those decisions of Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, or you are now coming to this pass where you're saying, okay, we are boycotting it because it's a Modi event.
Good evening, Zaka. Thank you so much for such a long question. I'll answer it in 3 simple parts. To your first part of the question, that you quoted the real minister and the honorable external minister of India saying that that we should be proud of our heritage. Do you think Riju Datta here, I'm not a fan of TMC, is not proud of his heritage, or Mr. Pavan Varma is not? Is it that now after 2014 we are proud of our heritage? Because certainly Zaka, my mother, because right now they're cleaning the whole temple, they're cleaning the temple, which is beautiful. My mother, who's a devout Muslim, has been doing this for the last 20 years. It's not started after 2014. Riju, I'll check with you in a later part. In Diwali, you didn't light diyas in your house? What is this that for opposition should be proud of our heritage? Are they not proud? So let's come to the issue at hand. Let's speak about the issue. Narayan Rani ji, a union minister who sits with the Honorable Prime Minister in the cabinet, says, who are these Shankaracharya? I'm quoting him verbatim, so CNN News 18. Who are these Shankaracharyas? What is their contribution to Hinduism? Your question, Zaka, was to Riju and me, the opposition. Should we not be proud? All right. Champat Rai ji says, Modi ji is an avatar of Vishnu. Again, your question, should we not be proud of our heritage? Of course, it's not politicization. How can this be politicization? But these images,
No, once again.
Lord Ram is put,
once again.
Sir, nobody was interrupted. Please, may I have my tea?
I'm just making a correction.
You,
I'm making a correction before you proceed further.
Right.
And the correction is, when he meant that should we not be proud of our heritage, Ram is part of our heritage. By not going to a Pran Pratishtha of the,
I'll answer that. I understood your
consecration of the home of Ram.
I understood. I'll answer.
What message are you saying? Are you saying we are proud of that heritage?
I understand. Zaka, I understood the question. I'll answer. But allow me to, don't interrupt me, please. This is the image that your viewers see. Prime Minister Modi on polls in Ayodhya, and amongst the many posters of Prime Minister Modi is Lord Ram, smaller. Prime Minister Modi, bigger. Lord Ram is being put on polls along with Prime Minister Modi at Ayodhya Shri, the pious Ayodhya Shri. This is not politics, Razaka. Let me come to your question that I want to address. The fact of the matter is that the Honorable President of India has been invited. This is a cultural awakening for our country. I completely agree to it. I think it's a fabulous occasion. Why is the President not there? The President was there at Somnath Temple. Why is the President not there? So is, by this logic of Jai Shankar ji or the opposition, is the President also anti-Hindu, anti-India, anti-Modi ji, that she's not coming? She's also got, amongst the few who's got the opportunity. These are not the issues, Zaka. The issue is that today there is a program that is being held. The BJP has taken center stage. Let me ask you, when the Nirmoy Akhada got a seat, I'm not getting into that, they've been invited now, in the Supreme Court, they've been fighting this battle for the last 500 years. The BJP is a 50, 60-year-old party. Why was the Nirmoy Akhada not asked to distribute the invites? Why did it have to be the VHP? You know, Zaka, more than anyone, VHP is a political organization. You know it more than anyone. Why did VHP have to do it? Why did Champat Rai have to give it to VHP to distribute? Nirmoy Akhada could have done it.
No, one second. One clarification. Tehseen, see, I'm only interrupting you. Sorry, I don't do this.
Sure,
but the only reason I'm interrupting is there are factual errors in what you're saying. The invitations were being handed over by the Ram Janmabhoomi Trust. That trust has some political people. It has non-political people also. One of the leading persons, one of the office bearers, one of the leading office bearers in that is a bureaucrat. Right? A former PMO official. Now, ex-bureaucrat. Now, my point is that I'm just underlining that, the invitations are not being handed over by just the VHP. The invitation is on behalf of the trust. And the trust has all kinds of people, not just political people.
I agree.
Go ahead.
So could the trust not have asked the Nirmoy Akhada, fought this battle for 50 years for 500 years to hand over invitation? May I ask you, Sarpanch Raja Ramchandra ji, you know who he is, Zaka? Pavan ji may know him. You know who he is? He's 100 years old. Every single court case from 1947, including the final one in Supreme Court, he attended. He was a representative of the Ram Lalla, because the Ram Lalla was fighting the court. He was a representative of Ram Lalla in every single court. He's not there. He's not attending.
Okay.
Are these not valid questions that we ask?
Yeah, absolutely. I never said for a moment that these are not questions or these are not valid or these questions should not be asked. Good that you asked them. Let Charu Pragya now please respond. Charu Pragya, Nirmohi Akhada, and I know Kartik Chopra is a dear friend. Tehseen is saying they should have been the ones who are inviting. They are not anywhere in the scene. He's also referred to a Sarpanch ji, who he says was the one who was fighting all the litigation.
Raja Ramchandra ji.
Raja Ramchandra ji, who is fighting all the litigation from 47 on behalf of Ram Lalla. He's also not been invited. Please respond.
So, this whole politics which is being played out, Zaka, over who's invited and who's not, I find it to be in really bad taste. From my understanding and the understanding of every thinking person in this country is that everyone's invited. It's everyone's Bhagwan Ji. Except that a special few people have been sent specific invites. Unfortunately, a lot of those people have sidelined those invites, calling it political. Now, Tehseen says certain things have become political. Tell me who is not political. Tehseen is not a member of any political party. Yet, he is the most political person I know. So, please, let's not confuse the two. Because when the Ram Janmabhoomi Trust is making a list and going home to home inviting people, you should respect that. See, the politicization angle has started from the opposition, and I wish it had not happened, because this is a resurgence of culture in our country. It's a massive event, and I cannot think of another event which even comes remotely close since our independence. It is that big an event.
But Charu, sorry again. What Tehseen and Riju, etc. are saying is, will you then guarantee the people who are watching this broadcast that in the Lok Sabha campaign, which I believe is due to begin right after the Pran Pratishtha happens on Monday, that the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, all your leaders of the BJP will not use the Ram Mandir inauguration in your political speeches? I mean, that's a matter of faith, right? Opposition is playing politics, you are not playing politics. So, don't refer to what happened on January 22nd.
Right, and that's a very good question, Zaka. But tell me, since the day of the inception of our political party, have we not talked about being a staunch part of the Ram Janmabhoomi movement? Have we not done it? Have we not included that in our manifesto year after year after year? Yeah. So much so that our Prime Minister and leader had always said that the temple is going to be made and be made in the right way. There is nobody who will be able to challenge it when the temple comes up. We did not take any shortcuts here. We have worked day and night. Our people have worked day and night. And see, I can say this very, very confidently. Up till now, it was not necessary that every Ram Bhakt was a supporter of Bharatiya Janata Party. But going forward, that is definitely what's going to happen, looking at the way the opposition has been reacting. And if it was so easy to get this verdict and to push for this verdict actively, why did it take us 550 years? It needed a Narendra Modi.
So Riju, the point is, and you can't fault the BJP for this, in every one of their manifestos from 1984 onwards, they have put Ram Mandir, abrogation of Article 370 and Uniform Civil Code.
Yes.
Every manifesto of theirs, they've been absolutely public about it. And now when the crowning moment is coming to say that, oh no, they are playing politics, they've been doing this for the last 30 years. If you had a problem, you should have opposed then.
Zaka, that is exactly the point. I applaud Charu ji for stating the obvious. And it is high time, not Charu ji on a channel, it is high time Narendra Modi comes out and says that this is a BJP event. It is the BJP who have brought Prabhu Ram home and we are going to use it in politics. Done, finished.
No, but the BJP has been saying that in every manifesto, Riju,
no,
from
you can't
1984.
Put words in my mouth. Zaka, can I get 20 more seconds, please?
Yeah. 1 second, Charu. But the BJP, Riju, has been saying this in every manifesto, and the manifesto is as political a document as it gets. They've been saying that from 1984.
But for the Pran Pratishtha, Pradhan Mantri is saying we are bringing Lord Ram home. It is not a political event. Now please tell me this. They did a Safai Abhiyan.
Yeah.
All the BJP leaders of this country, from top to bottom, did a Safai Abhiyan. What kind of a sad drama that was. Tell me one mandir in this entire country from Kashmir to Kanyakumari.
It's drama to keep your temples clean. No, Zaka, please allow me to speak.
Yeah. 1 second, Charu. Let him finish his point. Yeah. What you're saying it was drama.
Yes, and why I am saying this
why?
is because there is not one single mandir from Kashmir to Kanyakumari which is not washed on a daily basis. It is done on a daily basis every day, whether it is in my house, whether it is Kaligat.
All right, Charu, quick response and then I'll go to Pavan Varma after that. Yeah, Charu, quick response, yeah.
I mean, the extent to which some politicians will go just because of Modi hatred. Let me tell you one thing. What you're calling drama is actually a change in thought processes. Modi ji, when he started the Swachhata Abhiyan in 2014, has helped our country get to a point of better sanitation, but maybe you missed that point. Also,
And
very
you have to
importantly,
put the white-
political
white
parties
sheet
are
saying
formed
authority
on
does
a
visit
social
320.
reason. Mr. Datta, let me finish, please. Political parties, all of them, his included, are all formed on a social reason. All of them. Our political party was also formed on a social reason, a cause of the people which was taken up by the leaders of Bharatiya Janata Party in all their wisdom. The
Excuse me,
cause
can
of
I
the
come now?
people
Please,
was
okay.
the abrogation of Article 370 and the
Okay.
construction
Now,
of
let me-
Ram
let
Mandir.
me- one
Please
second, Riju.
understand
Riju and
the
Charu, please
difference.
yield. One second.
Understand
I know
the
things have gotten a
difference
little
between
hotter on the
people's
collar.
victory
So let
and
me
then
calm
just
down the
wanting
tempers a
to
bit,
make
please.
it
Let me
very
calm down the
political.
tempers a bit.
Mr. Datta,
Let
what
me
is your
let me
cause
ask
anyway?
Pavan
Now,
Varma.
please tell me what is your cause?
Let's take Pavan Varma on the screen, please. Pavan Varma, you know, to say that BJP uses religion for politics, fair enough. I mean, I'm not disarguing with that point. But the larger issue is that the opposition's messaging needs to be clear, it needs to be coherent, and it needs to be politically sensible. Please explain to our viewers how the opposition and what the thinking of the opposition is, how it stands to gain politically by boycotting this function. You can say that if they were not invited, of course, it would have been a huge issue saying, this is a BJP function, this is, a Narendra Modi function. Opposition was invited. It's not just, in fact, my understanding is that none of the members of the cabinet will be there on the 22nd. So, to say it's a BJP function when invitations have been extended to the opposition and the opposition has boycotted it or decided not to go, then how is it still the charge of political? So, please explain to our viewers what they stand to gain politically by not going for the event.
Jaka, let me make 3 points, which combines what Riju and Charuji and Tehseen have said. First of all, to some extent I agree that the building of the Ram temple is a symbolic sign of the reclamation of a perhaps much ignored ancient heritage, which needs to be asserted. I have written a book called The Great Hindu Civilization. In a conversation with a very senior RSS leader, he told me that, and I was to my surprise mentioned the exact page, that up to page 300 and something, what you say about reclamation of our ancient culture and Hindu heritage couldn't have been put better, but after that you become critical of us. And I said, I do because I am afraid that sometimes this assertion may lead to a very slippery slope where it not only becomes unlawful or sanctifies things which are abominable like bulldozer justice, but also may marginalize the multicultural, multi-religious and plural identity of India as sanctified and endorsed by the Constitution. That's point number 2. Point number 3, about the opposition. I have said before, and I respect individual leaders within the opposition, but as a combined Zaka, I have rarely seen a more ineffectual and electorally inefficient opposition. I say this not with joy, I say it with anguish. I say that because they were aware that the Ram temple is coming up. They had welcomed the Supreme Court judgment. They should have had a collective strategy of being part of that event, and if not being part of the event, to provide a coherent reason for it which has resonance with the people. And lastly, and most importantly, the opposition has singularly failed to come up with a pan-Indian counter narrative. If the BJP is politicizing Ram for electoral dividends, you can't fault it because it has been at the forefront for the building of the temple.
Correct.
Which party would not do it? Why did Rajiv Gandhi overrule the Shah Bano judgment, the reasonable judgment of the Supreme Court? That was for politics. Therefore, it was to be expected. What the opposition should have done is expecting that to prepare a coherent counter narrative
Okay.
which would appeal to the people while accepting that Sri Ram is a popular, extremely revered. I have written a book on Tulsidas Ramcharit. I have written a book on the great Hindu civilization.
Okay.
I have written a book on Adi Shankaracharya. There are great aspects of the civilization.
Tehseen, you know, and I'll give, I have to get to the concluding part of the debate. The opposition a few months ago had decided to boycott the new parliament inauguration. For whatever reason, they said, again, Modi show, president not invited. Same arguments were put forth. Then what happened? They came to that same parliament building. Same debates were happening in the same parliament building that they boycotted. So basically, you just do this for a one-day show. And then again, in the case of the Ram Mandir, the opposition is saying, 22nd we won't go because it's a Modi show, but from 24th we can go. Either you're taking a principled stand and saying, we don't want to have anything to do with this, or you're saying, okay, let's be part of this Rashtra Parv as some people are putting it.
Thank you, Zaka, for that question. So let me divide that question into two parts. I completely concede to what Mr. Pavan Varma says, and that's something I've spoken about openly in all my interactions, that in my opinion, and if I was advising the India Alliance, then I would have had a visual where Mrs. Gandhi, Mr. Kharge, Adhir Ranjan ji, Mamta ji, Kejriwal ji, all the leaders who are invited go together as one show. That would be my advice to them. So they go together. That puts on, because I understand that the Prime Minister, on virtue of him being the Prime Minister, will steal the show. I completely agree. So you go together. Now we're talking pure politics here. But to the other part of your question, I don't agree with. It's very easy today to say, look, the opposition is not, what could the opposition do? They went to parliament and you had the same debate there. Zaka, 149 MPs were kicked out of parliament unfairly to stand up for a terror attack on parliament, a terror attack, Zaka. And not one person is asking or has the guts to ask the Home Minister of the country, why has he not spoken on it? Is this the Ram Rajya we are talking about? When your message today says Ram Rajya, the PM's message says Ram Rajya, people in Manipur are suffering. Just now, the army has put out a statement saying that there's been large-scale violence 2 days ago in Manipur, last 2 days. Is this the Ram Rajya? Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, who has been roaming around in Ayodhya with some of your colleagues, is accused of molesting women. This is the governance we're talking about.
Okay.
That is what. Yes, that the opposition hasn't brought it forward. I agree with you. And I concede to Pavan Varma ji, the articulation should be better.
Okay.
But it isn't that it's for lack of trying.
Yeah,
let's be clear on that.
Charu, final word. 30 seconds, I've got to wrap up. Yeah.
Because Tehseen mentioned the so-called terror attack, let me remind him that Rahul Gandhi did, in fact, with all his friends and allies, stage a walkout. But after that, he turned up at a protest and said that they were very poor, unemployed people. Let's not be harsh on them. In fact, Congress lawyers are defending them in court as we speak. So please, let's not pretend you are holier than thou. In fact, you are very, very much two-faced, and politically you stand exposed for that. As for the Mandir of Bhagwan Sri Ram, it is made with the money of Bhakts. It is made with the money of Ram Bhakts, and they are the ones who are going to go ahead and make sure it becomes a bhavya event for all of us to remember for generations. Modi ji has been chosen as the one who's going to be performing the Pran Pratishtha, and we couldn't be happier. He's leading the country, he's going to be there, and opposition can only eat
the Prime Minister is not doing the Pran Pratishtha. Just to correct a factually.
He's the second Yajman. He's the second Yajman for the Pran Pratishtha. Okay.
Yes, but he's a part of it.
I have to wrap up.
He's representing the people of this country.
I'm completely out of time, but we'll leave it at that. Whether the opposition has made a mistake by not going, whether it'll be politically suicidal for them, we will know in the course of the next few months.